It's the 3rd of July, the light going orange over the fields, and 2 farms over, somebody sets off an early one to test the sky. You feel your dog change before you hear the next. His tail tucks up under his belly, his ears pin flat. He starts to pant with his tongue, wide and curled, drooling on a cool evening when there's no heat to pant off. That's not a hot dog. That's a scared one. Then he's gone, wedged behind the toilet, scrabbling under the porch steps, his nails worn down on a door he can't open. You hold out his favorite treat, the one he'd normally take your hand off for. He won't even look at it. And it goes on for hours, the dog shaking against your leg, and nothing your hands do reaches him. Most folks fight this the same way. You wait for the banging to start, then you scoop him up, hold him tight, pet him fast, tell him over and over that it's all right. It feels like the loving thing. But fussing over a frightened dog after the fear has already taken hold can teach him there was something to be afraid of all along. So you buy the calming chews every summer. You call the vet for the pills and give them too late to work. You reach for the fix during the storm when the moment to help him already passed. That's the real mistake. Waiting. By the time the sky is lit up, the window has already closed. I raise working dogs here in Lancaster County, and barn cats and horses besides. My grandmother settled a storm-scared hound, not by fussing over him, but by tiring him out first and wrapping him snug. She never had a fancy word for it. She just knew a tired hug dog rides out a bad night. So, here are 3 simple things you set in place in the hour before the first shell, not after. And the one thing everyone does, the rushing to comfort a shaking dog, is the very thing that fails him. Let me tell you first why your dog comes apart. Because once you see it plain, the 3 steps make sense. Fireworks hit a dog as loud, sudden, and with no pattern he can learn. A thunderstorm at least builds. Fireworks just crack out of nowhere, one after another, no rhythm to settle into. His body floods with the fear response. Heart racing, breath fast, muscles tight, the whole animal braced to run from a thing he can't run from. That's the wiring that kept his wild cousins alive. And here's the part that matters. Once that flood is running full, you can't pet it out of him, and you can't talk him down. The switch is already thrown. So the whole game is to get ahead of it, lower where he starts from, and hand him tools to bring himself back down. That's what the hour before is for. The first step is the oldest one, and my grandmother swore by it. Wear him out before the sun goes down. Not a stroll around the yard, a real long walk, a hard play session, enough to genuinely tire his body and his mind. A dog with his energy already spent has less left to pour into panic. He starts the evening lower, so he has less distance to climb when the noise begins. Do it in the afternoon, well before dusk, while the light is still good and the sky is still quiet. Then tire the mind too, because a tired body with a busy head is only half the job. Scatter his supper out in the grass. Hide it. Make him hunt for every piece with his nose. Dogs settle after they sniff and forage and eat. It's built into them. A dog who has run, searched, and eaten his fill is a different animal at nightfall than one who lay around the house all day. One practical thing here. Time it so he's walked, fed, watered, and toileted before the light goes. Because once the banging starts, he will not want to step outside. And a frightened dog holding his bladder for hours is a miserable dog. Get all of it done while it's calm. The second step is the heart of this, the snug wrap. Here's the trick, and it's plain. You wrap the dog close around his chest and his ribs. There are proper pressure vests made for exactly this, and they work well. But my grandmother did it with a shirt. A t-shirt fitted tight to the body, knotted at the back so it hugs him around the middle. Steady, gentle pressure all the way around. Why does that settle a dog? The same reason a snug blanket settles a crying baby. Wrapping calms. That even, constant pressure tells the nervous system to ease off. It's the same thing the cattle folks noticed years back. That gentle pressure quiets a nervous animal before it gets worked up. Livestock people have known it a long time. It works on dogs too. Now I owe you the honest word here, the way I always give it. This is not magic, and it does not work on every dog. The folks who make these vests will tell you around 4 in 5 dogs show some improvement. The careful independent studies are more modest than that, but they still point the same direction. Some dogs get a lot calmer, some get a little. A few don't seem to care either way. Honest is more useful than impressive. For most dogs, the wrap helps, and it costs you nothing to try with a shirt you already own. And here is the one detail everyone gets wrong. The wrap goes on before the fear starts, at least half an hour before the first shell, while he is still calm and loose. This is the whole reason the title says 1 hour before. Put a snug shirt on a dog who is already shaking, and you've missed the moment. You want him wearing it while he's settled, so the calm is already in place when the sky lights up. Better still, let him wear it on an ordinary quiet evening a few times first. Then it's a familiar old thing, not a strange new one sprung on him on the worst night of his year. The third step gives his mouth a job. An hour before dark, take a hollow rubber toy or a lick mat. Pack it with something he loves. Mashed banana, plain peanut butter, and check the label to be sure there's no xylitol in it, because that will hurt a dog. A little wet food, a spoon of plain yogurt. Then freeze it solid so it lasts a good long while. As the light fades, before the first bang, you hand it over. Why does that help? Because the slow, steady licking and chewing does real work inside the dog. That repeated motion releases his own calming chemistry and brings down the stress hormone in his blood. It's not a distraction trick. It's his own body soothing itself, and you're just handing him the means to do it. A licking dog is settling himself without knowing it. It carries him through the worst window too. The first stretch after dark when the panic would otherwise dig in and take hold. If his nose and his mouth are busy on something delicious and frozen hard, those first bad minutes pass while he's occupied. That's often the whole battle right there. So let me put the 3 together into one evening, in order, because the order matters. In the afternoon, while it's quiet, you walk him hard and let him hunt his supper in the grass. You get him fed, watered, and toileted before the light goes. As dusk comes on, you build his safe spot. An inside room, away from the windows. Curtains drawn so the flashes don't reach him. A fan running or the television turned up to blunt the sharp edge of each crack. Then, while he's still calm, the snub wrap goes on. And as the last light drops, the frozen toy goes into his mouth. Then the fireworks start, and your dog meets them already tired, already hugged, already busy. One more thing, and it's about you. Keep yourself calm. Act like it's any other night. A dog reads your body better than he reads your words. And if you're tense and hovering and fussing over him, you tell him there's something to dread. Be the steady thing in the room. Move slow. Breathe easy. Let him take his cue from a person who isn't worried. You did the work before he was ever scared, not after. That's the whole difference between this and what most folks do. Now I'll give you the honest limit, because you deserve it. For a dog in true, deep panic, the kind that claws through doors and hurts himself trying to escape, these 3 steps help, but they may not be enough on their own. That dog needs a vet in the picture. And here's the key. You talk to that vet ahead of the night, in the calm days before, not at 9 o'clock when the sky is already going off and it's too late to do anything right. Set it up early, the same as everything else here. Ahead of time is the whole lesson. So here it is, plain. Wear him out before the sun goes down. Wrap him snug while he's still calm. Give his mouth a frozen job as the light fades. All of it in the hour before, not after the first bang. That's the whole thing. If this is the kind of hand-me-down works with the animal knowledge you want more of, subscribe and stick around. I've got plenty more of the old ways to share. And tell me down in the comments, what's your dog afraid of? And how does he do this here once you've tried it?